We're out of gas.
Yeah. Well, they got more gas in the bike. Mitch Payton, you are not going to DNF today. That motor will not blow One of the only things that could have messed up this championship today was if the bike blew up. So clearly, Mitch Payton, the bike was not going to blow up because an hour of burnout still hasn't blown this thing up. Good job.
No, I think we said it could do 2 more motos.
What? Did you change anything to make sure you had the most reliable motor ever, or is this what we could do every weekend?
No, that's same spec we ran all year.
Okay, so look, it's been a little while since you've added a bunch of these #1 plates to the door, especially outdoors. I know you've won a lot of these, but this one's got to be extra special, especially with a rider that's been through a lot and through it with you.
Yeah, no, it's been terrible, and like honestly,
terrible.
Well,
yeah. Okay.
You know, if you look back at it, we lost some championships by a little bit.
Yeah.
And even this year, like in Supercross, they had great points advantages, and like Austin got hurt, and then Adam fell down. And then for outdoors, it was start over, and we did that. And like I give it to Adam. Like he really put the work in, and he did the best he could do. And he did I told him after Vegas, we'll never talk about that race again.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. That was hard to put that behind you in 2 weeks and win at Hangtown.
No, I know, but it was like I don't want to ever talk about it. I never watched that race on TV.
You didn't?
I never watched it.
Okay.
I couldn't watch it.
I'm sure.
I drove home and I had it recorded, and I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched it live, and it was devastating, and like that was one thing. And we talked about it that night, and I'm like, never want to talk about it again. And he did great bouncing back out of that, and I'm like, I want you to use that for fuel, and I think he did. And I give Nick Way a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I think Nick Way helped him through some struggles and like really worked with him a lot. And our team, you know, both motor-wise and suspension, you know, like Adam and Adrian really worked really hard to get the bike better for him for outdoors. And it proved that they did a really good job. Like I think our bike was fantastic. It was great on starts. It was great on suspension, especially, and chassis. And I just think he rode a great series. He didn't win every moto, but he was on the box every single moto. And we always said, if you're on the box every time, that should get it done.
Yes.
And it did get it done. And he had a decent points lead even at the end of the series. So I love it.
I'm going to ask him the same thing. You had so much success for a long time, as did he as an amateur, and then it doesn't come for a while, as it did for your team. Does it make it that much better when you see, man, how hard this could be? Because for a while it was like, whoever they're putting on the team, they're probably going to win this 250 title. It worked that way for a while.
Well, it did, and then Adam was that guy that was supposed to win automatically, and he did. He won his very first Supercross race, and then he was second, and he would win, and he was second, and he would win. So he was always right there, and he'd have the red plate, and it looked like it was easy. And then when Adam got hurt, then it transferred to Martin, and Martin had the red plate, and then I said, we're still going to win because Martin's going to win. And then Martin was going to win, and then there was an accident in practice, and he broke his ankle, and he was out. And then it went to Baggett.
Yeah.
Baggett had the red plate.
Yeah.
And then Baggett got into an accident where...
His eye, right?
Well, no, but he tangled with somebody in where it ripped his throttle cables out, and that was a bad deal. And then Bogle was in fourth, and then at the end of the series, we were 1, 2, 3, and we lost. And then Baggett had an accident testing for outdoors where he got something, like a lens. I don't remember exactly, but his eye got hurt.
Yeah.
And he was not as good that year coming in that he should have been. And so he struggled with that a lot. So we had a weak spot for a while, outdoors especially.
Yeah. So getting back to the top of the mountain is going to feel so good to finally get it, especially the way Supercross went. Like, you keep getting so close.
No, and I thought both guys had it. I didn't want to talk about it. I thought they both had it. All they had to do was finish the series, and it didn't happen. And then for Adam not to get that thing, that's sad.
Yeah.
But, like, for him to get a championship for us, and especially it's his last championship for us, and, like, for him to ride for us that long, and, like, to me to know him that long, I knew him as a kid, and, like, I wanted him to have these things. Like, I really wanted him to win because we put so much work into it.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember when he was a kid, his dad drove out there in a motorhome and stayed in our parking lot.
Wow.
And then 2 years later, they rented our house, our old house, because I moved, and they rented our house, and, like, we were so close, and, like, it just never was happening. Like, there was an injury after injury.
Yeah.
And, like, it was really hard on Adam too, because, like, oh, I'm coming back from this, I'm coming back from that.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you got the naysayers that say he's never going to be the guy that should do it. And he should have been the guy that came in and it was easy.
Yeah.
And it was just the initial injuries kept compiling on top of each other. And I was worried, but this year outdoors, he looked like he had it together, and he got it together. And I'm glad to pass him off, and I'm glad he's going to ride for Kawasaki.
Yeah.
So he'll be a guy that's rode for Cowie from a little boy all the way to the big pro deal. And I think you're going to see great things out of Adam in Supercross. And, like, I think that's the one thing. Like, Adam's, like, he won an outdoor title. Like, I think that's great. But without injuries, like, I think he could have had 2 or 3 of those in Supercross.
Yeah.
Because that's what he really thrived on.
Yeah.
And outdoors, he was good at it, but, like, he just thrived on Supercross. And I really feel next year he's going to be great.
Cool. Last thing, when does the #1 plate go on the door? How does this work?
When he gets back from his press conference.
Oh, you got it.
Yep.
It'll happen.
Yep.
All right, cool. Hey, thanks, Mitch. Cheers.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Be right back.